Waiting for someone to say that. We've been talking about how. No, we've been talking about what. We haven't really been talking about how. What is it? Foundations have to be laid, of course, isn't it? If you don't understand the foundations, and the foundations, you cannot put the foundations anywhere also. You have to make sure the groundwork is done. There's no water, there's no quicksand, there's no... Make sure everything is good, then you're going to put. That is when you have to find a shaykh, a murshid. Not enough. So many saying they found one, but they're not following. Yeah, internet. I take internet bayat. Okay? Online bayat. I hereby okay, take bayat. Allah haq. It's something. We're making joke, but maybe it's something. It's not our way. Our way, okay, we cannot reach because our hearts want it. They call. It's not the best thing, but they call, we give bayat. Shaykh and he gives bayat. Best is if you come person to person, isn't it? So, you may follow a shaykh. You may have a shaykh, but very few they actually follow. What is the meaning of having a shaykh too? A shaykh is different from an imam. Don't think a shaykh is an imam. Shaykh is not an imam. A shaykh is not a scholar. A shaykh is not that someone who's going to be there with you arguing back and forth. Who is a shaykh supposed to represent? Who? Holy Prophet ﷺ. Who are we supposed to emulate, to imitate? No, that is when we are wrong. Sanuyuma. Is he translating? Let me know. No, that is where we are wrong. Who are we emulating? Sahabe Kiram. Don't jump to the Holy Prophet ﷺ yet. So, the Shaykh is not an imam. He's not a scholar. He's not an imam of prayer. He is a Shaykh. He is representing Holy Prophet ﷺ. He is not just representing because he's earned a title that was given to him in the day of Kalubala. There was a day of promises it was given to him. And those who are his murids, they were with him on that day of promises. That's why you feel close to him. You are part of him. These are the things. If there's no foundation, people will say, what the are you talking about, man? They say, this is shirk. Where? Prove to me. Where? Where? We say to you, prove to your existence. You cannot prove you exist. You didn't exist 20 years ago, 40 years ago. In 40 years' time, you will not exist. So do you exist? So you're asking me for proof? So the murid, we're supposed to imitate the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. This is something that we should understand. I should understand. Everybody should understand very well. Because the Shaykh is not just someone who's going to sit there smiling at you. If he's a murshid. So many. They're just making zikr. It's okay. Something. We're not saying that's wrong with that. No. So I'm reading prayers, tilawat, mawlid. That's good. But a murshid, the murshid al-kamil, the perfect guide is the one who will guide you. That is the one, yes, they will take time to listen to you. That they are accessible. Now, if that one has so many murids and it is impossible to do that, he may assign khalifahs, deputies, wakils to represent him. Who did this? Holy Prophet did this, isn't it? He couldn't go to Yemen. He couldn't go to Abyssinia. He couldn't go so many places. He sent the Sahabe Kiram to go, saying, now you represent him. Ibn Abbas is sent all the way to Central Asia. Now represent him. And Ibn Abbas, his uncle, that he loved so much. With that light of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he managed to make the whole of Central Asia to become Muslims. Yeah. So now, if you understand, your Shaykh is like the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Let's not enter into discussion, well, how do you know if it's a good Shaykh, bad Shaykh, true Shaykh? Let's not enter into that yet, okay? Because nobody thinks like that in this system. How do you know if that teacher is a good teacher, a bad teacher? How do you know that school is a bad school? Do you know how to find out if that one is or not? in terms of the dunya, everybody's eyes are wide awake. Not to be cheated, but in terms of akhirat, they say, oh, I don't know, better to reject the whole thing. I don't know if it's good or bad, so I better not just follow anything. You know, you might be bad, he might bring you to Jahannam. You don't know how to think, you don't know how to look, use that intelligence. It's like saying, oh, there's so many groups, I don't know which group it is. It's like coming to a restaurant and saying, opening the menu, so many things to eat, I don't know which one. Better for me not to eat. Ever? No, you don't. Well, it comes to spirituality, Allah, Allah. Now, this is the ego that is doing. This is ego tricking. Because the ego says, no, don't follow anyone. You and Allah. It's you and Allah. You know how to read? Open the Quran and read. There's a guide to you. Yes, Quran is a guide. Quran, if you bring it properly, will take you to Jannat. If you don't take it properly, the Quran will bring you to Jahannam. How are we saying this? How are you saying Quran bring you to Jahannam? Simple. Quran, simple excuse simple reason I'm going to give it to you. Simple example. Quran is the word of Allah. In the old days, we don't print Quran. Printing is for dunya stuff. You write the Quran. Not anyone to write the Quran. Saints, awliya Allah, they write the Quran. With a zikr, with a wudu. Now paper printing, katam, katam, katam. And it's for what? For money. So it's different. Relationship to the Quran is also different. Yes, the Quran has disappeared. Huh? The Quran, in the old days, before it's printed, people have it in their hearts. Not only in their hearts, they were practicing the Quran. They were walking Qurans. Who is a walking Quran? Holy Prophet, they said to us. Meaning people were living Sunnah lifestyle. Understand? They may not have 10 Qurans in their houses, but they are living the Sunnah lifestyle. They are walking Qurans. Now we have 20 Qurans in our houses, but the lifestyle, we're turning left and right. From outside appearances to the way we behave, to what we're interested in, there's not much difference between us and the unbelievers. Am I right or wrong? Sultan Osman Ghazi. In the old days, not everywhere there's a Quran. Qurans also, they only have it in the dergahs and the big jamis, because it is a holy book. They are twisting it in these days, saying that, oh, they put the Quran so high so that you won't read it. No. They don't put the Quran so high so that you won't read it. They put the Quran high because the Quran, number one, should not be below your belly button. Whatever is below your belly button, it is najasat. Don't you know? This is basic. You're not even supposed to be eating something that is below. Holy Prophet ﷺ did it. Okay, we continue with it. But properly, we put it above. Because the Quran, it is holy. The rizq is also holy. Food is also holy. It is so holy. Holy Prophet is saying, if you're eating and if I enter, don't stand up. And if somebody is giving salams, don't return that salams. You eat, isn't it? Prayer time comes and food is there. Eat. Because Allah is Razak, and that is His provision. So in the old days, very few Qurans. Majority of the Muslims, they were walking Qurans. Sultan Osman Ghazi, the founder of the Ottoman Empire, he had a sign that he had to go visit his Shaykh. He went to visit his Shaykh in the dergah. His Shaykh told his Khadims, saying, bring him to a room. Leave him there. We will see him tomorrow. They brought him to a room. And he noticed something hanging. And he asked them, what is that? And he's saying, he was told, that is the Holy Quran. He said, that is the Quran Kibrisi? He says, yes. That is the Quran, that is the word of Allah. He says, yes. Now this one is not an Arab, he's an Ajam. He's Turk. He's not a scholar. He doesn't know so much. Islam. Definitely, majority of today's Muslims in terms of Zahir knowledge know more than he does, maybe, in that sense. But what does he have? He have adab, he has respect. And adab, it is heavenly, it is not dunya. He said, that is the Quran? He says, yes. Shaykh is telling you, you can sleep here, rest. Tomorrow morning he will see him. He says, I cannot rest. Because the Quran is here the whole night. He was standing like this. He was standing with his head down. It's the word of Allah. The word of Allah. The word of Allah is here. Nice air coming. He cannot sit. When the dawn time comes and such a heaviness came to him, his body cannot take it, then he sat. But he did not sitting like this. He sat on his knees. There is a prayer position. And he sat, and for some minutes he fell into a sleep, and he dreamt. And that dream was a big opening for him and his descendants, who are representing that tree. That every nation in the world is sheltering under that tree. And that is the tree that is representing the Holy Ottoman Empire. And he is to marry his Sheikh's daughter, who is representing the moon. And from that line onwards, the blood of the Holy Prophet ﷺ entered into the Ottoman sultans and the khalifahs. We have Qurans. How many times you've seen in the masjids of Allah people sitting like this or sitting like this? By the way, this sitting like this is forbidden for men, for your information. Holy Prophet forbid it. It's also forbidden to be walking around with your hands tied behind your back and walking. The Yahudis do that, not the Muslims. Who is believing in these things? They have such high knowledge. They study so much hadith and everything, but lifestyle it is not. This is very bad for. How many we've seen people sitting like that and reading the Quran? Or lying down and reading the Quran? Or stretching their legs on their backs and holding the Quran like it's a storybook? You think now that time that Quran is going to bring you to Jannat? No. Because you are not treating the word of Allah properly, you're not giving it respect. It will bring you to the fire. So, you have all these qualities. You need to find a Shaykh. You found a Shaykh. You need to be like the Sahabis to the Shaykh. What does that mean? The Sahaba Kiram, they never say, I know. To the Prophet, they never say, I know. They say, Allah and His Prophet knows. They don't sit and they don't argue with the Prophet. They say, we hear and we obey. Samirna wa ta'na. They don't say, give me everything that I want. They say, may my parents be sacrificed for you. And their parents were sacrificed for the Prophet. Think. Sit down, just split second think. I have parents, and there is a fire there. Do I have that much faith that the unbelievers, they are taking my parents and they're saying, give up from that shahadat, give up from the Prophet, or else we're going to burn your father and your mother? Think, these are not stories for nothing. You have children, so many of you, mashallah, you love your children so much. In these days too, the children, they're ruling the parents. The parents, they're not ruling the children. But you love your children so much, think. Those little ones, the unbelievers are taking and saying to you, give up from your Islam or else we kill them. Those Sahabis, they did. They sacrificed their children. They sacrificed their parents. Islam is not based on theology, on concepts, on philosophy, on academics, on ideas. It is blood. Hazrat Hussein sacrificed himself for us. It is blood. The Ahl Sunnah, they sacrificed themselves in the presence of the tomb of the Prophet ﷺ. when those shaitans came and they killed them in the Rawza Sharif. Those Ottoman soldiers that were killed there. Because they say, Madad ya Rasulullah. Madad ya Rasulullah. They say this is shirk. It happened then? Or is it still happening now? Wake up. We need reminders. This is knowledge that is going to wake us up, to make us to understand where we're living, how we're living, why we are living. Not just to be lost in books. Lost in, oh, so much of this knowledge. And are we supposed to be one body? Isn't it? Holy Prophet is saying the Ummah, they're one body. If you prick your finger with a pin, whole body is going to hurt. Are we hurting? If we're not hurting, understanding what Holy Prophet did, sacrifices he made, what his sacrifices his Ahlul Bayt made, the sacrifices that the Sahabe Kiram they made, the sacrifices that the Tabi'in and the Awliya Allah they made, if we're not understanding the sacrifices, that right now as we're speaking, those good ones, pure ones, innocent ones, for the sake of following and loving that Prophet ﷺ, they're being murdered right now as we are speaking. If our heart's not even moving a little bit and not doing something, that means we're not part of that body. That means our faith is not there. You can claim whatever you want. You can say, no, I make zikr all the time. That zikr is supposed to make you to remember. Why is not making you to remember? Isn't that what zikr is? Why is it not making us to think, to understand, to feel something? Are we saying everybody stand up now and have a revolution? No. It is not the time for that. But are we thinking? Because Prophet is thinking. Prophet is thinking of his ummah. Prophet thought of his ummah ﷺ from the day that he is born until the day that he passed. And the day when he's going to be resurrected, the words coming out of his mouth will always be ummati, ummati. And his ummah, the ummah that the prophets are willing to sacrifice their prophethood to be just one of his ummah, we are sleeping, we are lost, we're in ghaflat. We're selfish. Getting upset over little things. These are not ideas. I said this is flesh and blood. Blood is spilled. But how are we going to be one body now? Body needs a head. If there is no head, what happens to the body? Of course, it's going to be like this. 1300 years plus. For better or for worse, and always it was for better. We had a khalifah. No matter what other people say, they say, oh, khalifah is no good, he's cruel, is this. Doesn't matter. Number one, to rebel against the khalifah, it is forbidden in Islam. Number one. Number two, even when we had the worst of the khalifahs, if I may say so, astaghfirullah, Islam was still ruling. Islam was still high. Islam was still spreading. Islam was still bringing civilization. MashaAllah. Now, we are 2 billion. We have so much wealth, we don't know what to do with it. We have so much education and technology, and we could not even stop the mouths of the unbelievers from cursing at our Prophet. And we couldn't even stop our brothers. Daily they're being sacrificed. Because we're so busy with our own little lives. So yeah. At least for the heart to think. Can we do anything right now? Of course not. Our hands are tied. But what we can do? Can we pray? Yes, we can pray. The lowest level of faith is through the heart. Cannot change anything with the hands or the tongue. Change it with the heart. At least our heart must be crying. But how the heart is going to cry if the heart is busy with our own situation? When our heart is so busy with our own dunya, how is it going to be? So yeah. We are common, regular people. Cannot expect much from us, except for prayers, yes. But there are ones who have a lot of power. There are those ones who have a lot of money. They are those ones who have a lot of religious knowledge. These are our leaders, isn't it? Responsibility is on them, not on us. Are they carrying their responsibility? Big question mark. We have scholars now. From the outside, maybe they look like a saint. From the outside, they're saying we're Ahlul Sunnah. But we're saying them for years that they are with their regime that is oppressing, torturing, and massacring the Muslims. So many there. Is their business? Maybe. But there is something wrong, definitely, in the system. Because they can afford change, we cannot. But things are not changing. So, you found a guide, submit to the guide. As the way that we submit to a doctor. We don't question doctors the way that we question our sheikhs. We don't even question the doctor when the doctor says, you know what? I have to cut you up. And in order to do that, I must knock you out. We say, okay. Sign paper, we say, okay. But when the Shaykh is saying, just listen to what I say. Don't fight. Just do this if you know what's good for you. But why? Why is forbidden in tariqat? Why? Why I have to do this? Why I have to do that? Fighting back, saying, you cannot do this to me. Who are you? You are just a man too. So something is wrong now. Inside, and something wrong is outside. Found a guide. Now that's the time you have to be with the guide. In the old days, the tariqat, they are together with their Shaykh. Spend as much time in Sohbet as their Shaykh. This Sohbet that Shaykh Efendi is giving is not happening once a week, once a month, once in 3 months, once a year. It's happening every day. Every day, at least 3 times a day. At least 3 times a day. Fajr time is Sohbet. Zuhr time is Sohbet. Isha time is Sohbet, like this. Can you imagine how much you're going to gain? If you're sitting every day like this, can you imagine? Can you imagine how your faith is going to be and how your understanding? Then that time, foundations have been laid. Now it's time for you to go and build something there. That's why they say now you can open. We can open. We can open. But we've come now to the Akhir Zaman. This is what we can afford. This is what we're doing. We're asking, Ya Rabbi, show us more mercy and bless us because we are weak ones and this is what we can do now. But we should not also be in denial how those ones were and how we are. Never claim to be a Sufi, please. Okay? In the old days, it was a reality without a name. They were all living it. Sahabe Kiram. But there was no name. And now, it is a name without a reality. Only 124,000 they are. We may say that we are lovers of those ones. We may say that we are ashks of those ones. We're admirers, we like to be with them. But we cannot claim that we are. And that's just being sincere. It's just being real. Inshallah Rahman, one day we will be. What does that depend on? It depends on our submission. And that, to a lot of people, is the only thing that is standing between them and Allah. Hey, you know what? Islam is called submission. How are you going to submit to Allah if you're not submitting to the Prophet? How are you going to submit to the Prophet, ﷺ, if you're not submitting to those ones that He signed over you? Obey Allah, obey His Prophet, and obey your rightful guided leaders. Inshallah. So yeah, stick around. Take the knocks. He's going to knock you wall to wall, definitely. He's not going to praise you, okay? He's It's not going to say, MashaAllah, you are a general. In fact, those ones who praise you, stay away from them. They want something from you. If they don't want anything from you and they only want to make you better, and they see that you are a diamond, but you need to be polished, they're going to do everything that is necessary to cut you and to polish you. Otherwise, that diamond is worth nothing. They're concerned about you, not about them. They don't need anything from you. They are those ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Surah Al-Yasin. They are the ones who ask you no fee, and they are themselves rightly guided. Being together with them is going to be hard. It's a pressure cooker. You want to be a diamond? You know how many millions of years, they say, it takes to produce a diamond? How much pressure it takes? You think that time discovering ourselves, letting our spirit to rule us, instead of our ego ruling the spirit, our spirit, it is less than a diamond. But people want the easy way out, definitely. That is the nature of the ego, and that is the nature of living in this century also. Shortcut. Okay? I give you special salawats, okay? You can reach high maqams. Just recite this. It's the same as reciting the Al Sharif 1,000 times. I'm not making fun of it. Maybe it is true. It's true. But nothing can beat the power of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, isn't it? Everyone is saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Why nothing is happening? There's nothing wrong with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There's something wrong with us. By the way, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it was also only given to the prophets, not to their nations, but it's given to the beloved one's nation, to be given to us. Think, inshallah. Good question. Stick around. It's a long journey. Then you're on the way to discovering, yes. Oh, so many doors we have to pass through. It's not easy to reach there. What are you going to do when you come to a situation when you really understand that you are evil, that you are worse than Shaitan, that you are worse than Firaun, you're worse than Abu Jahil, that you're worse than Namrud? Tariqat Murshids, they're teaching us that our ego is worse than this. This is an idea. What are you going to do when it becomes a reality to you? People, especially when they say, no, don't say I'm worse than Shaitan. Astaghfirullah, brother. How can you say that? Think. Now you come, what are you going to do when you come to that situation when you understand this? When you say Astaghfirullah. There's a time when you're going to start going somewhere. Then you understand yourself. But not too many are interested in that. They're saying, oh, this is wrong. This psychologically, this is messed up. You're going to mess us up. And it's all about power control. It's about this. Oh, then you're going to bring Western psychology into this. Now we're in trouble now. So as you like. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.